Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Business Breakthrough with Barbara Show. I hope you guys are ready. Hope you're ready. Today's a little bit different. I think so many of you have been requesting that I go deep and get a little raw and tell you about like the good and the bad and just like the authentic things that come with growing a coaching business. So today's live stream, I think it's definitely something I've never talked about. Unless you're a one-on-one client of mine, we probably have had this conversation as you take on new clients. But if you're just a member of my community or in my email list, it's just something I don't really share. I'm just like super excited about it because you guys are probably like, what do you mean your clients don't like you? Like, you're promoting your one-on-one coaching program right now. Why are you telling us this? Like, why would we even want to work with you if your clients don't like you? But stick with me, because you're going to understand a little bit more about what I mean by this and what it actually looks like and why it's not as bad as you may think that it is, right? So yeah, it's going to be a really good one. Let's see. A few reminders before we begin. Number one, if you're here, tell me that you're here. Drop me an emoji. We are not doing our weekly giveaway right now because, like I said, I'm hopping in a lot of discovery calls because I'm in the process of getting to amazing women who are ready to take their coaching business to the next level into my one-on-one coaching program through one of the best discounts that I have ever given for one-on-one coaching. Okay, so we're not doing our weekly giveaway because I'm in the process of that and I just don't have space in my calendar, but we will come back to that later. Hi Erica, welcome. Oh, I love that. Just really quick, I know I hate when people take too long just like talking about things that are not the substance of the live stream, so I just want to say it really quick. If you haven't seen it, we are running our Black Friday sale. It's called Conscious Black Friday. And we are opening up 2 spots for my most popular and my most successful one-on-one coaching program. It's where you and I join forces for 6 months. We become business partners and we get your business off the ground and to the next level. It's literally the program that has taken so many of my clients from a brand new coach that's overlooked in the industry to 100% fully booked with clients they love, making the money that they want, quitting their jobs, and finally saving up after years of wanting to have financial freedom and flexibility. So there should be a link around here for that. If there's not, I'll come back after the live stream and I'll share the link to the page. It's $3,000 off right now, which is amazing. And there's payment plans. So if you want to talk a little bit more about that, book a discovery call so we can chat and see if I can help you take your coaching business to the next level. With that said, let's talk about my clients not liking me. You're probably like, why are you telling us this right now when you're also telling us to work with you? And here's the thing. I think I want you guys to understand that what I mean by my clients not liking me, it's not like I have difficult clients who I have horrible situations with, right? Like, actually, in the 6 years that I've been coaching, I have had 1, maybe 2 really difficult situations with clients. And it's usually with clients who haven't really even began their process. Like, it's usually clients who are in the process of signing on and then they end up backing out. And then there's just like difficult situations to navigate there. But it's usually not even that bad. Like, that's a different story, right? Like when you have like a flip-floppy client or when you have, someone crossing your boundaries, like that's not what I mean right now, right? Like, I don't mean a client doesn't like me because I coach her for a month and then she wanted her money back. Like, I don't really have difficult situations like that often. It does happen. It has happened once or twice. So it's not like if it's happened to you, it's a big deal. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about my one-on-one clients who work with me for months and months and months because they choose to, not because they need to, right? Because they like and they want the support, not because they need it in order to keep succeeding. there are times in our journey where they just don't like me that much. And that is a good thing, okay? And let me explain to you why that's a good thing. As a coach yourself, you're gonna love this. You're just gonna feel so much ease around it. If you hire a coach, right? Like, let me give you an example. If you want to work with me for 6 months, if you're one of the women who are going to book a discovery call and chat to see if we're a good fit for my Conscious Black Friday offer, if we're going to work for 6 months, you want a coach that will help you step out of your comfort zone. You want a coach that will help you rewire and change your habits, right? You want a coach that will push you farther than anyone else will, right? And obviously, there's a balance there. As a coach, you need to know and understand your clients and what they need and how much you can push and how much you can't. Like, there's a little bit of a science there. But when you hire a coach, you don't want someone who's just going to be your best friend, right? Otherwise, you should just have your best friend tell you what to do for your business. Is this making sense? Okay, we're just scratching the surface, but we're getting there. When you work with someone on a one-on-one level, right? Like, you are paying them for a reason. You are paying them to help you see some results. In your case, if you're a coach or a business owner or a service-based entrepreneur, you would be paying me, for example, to help you get booked out with clients, to help you make more money, to hit your next milestone. And a lot of times, the way to do that, right? A lot of times, the way to do that is by reshaping your actions, rewiring your thoughts, right? And pushing farther than what you ever had before. That feels uncomfortable. That's just the way it is, right? Like, if you're making $500 a month and you want to get to $5,000 a month, you want to hire me to help you get that, right? If I was a coach who at no point of the journey pushed you to step into the best version of yourself, pushed you to drop habits that you had before, right? Like, maybe inconsistency. Maybe you say you're going to do things and you don't hold yourself accountable. Maybe you start something and you never finish it, right? If I was a coach who allowed you to continue to do that for the next 6 months, then you wouldn't be someone who gets results, right? Anyone that you work with, whether it's with me or someone else, or even for your own clients, you want someone who is not afraid to challenge you. You want someone who is not afraid to have difficult conversations with you. And this is why sometimes, I promise you, most of the time, my clients and I are having a great time. We're having a lot of fun, right? Like, even through the ups and downs of business. But there are times where they sometimes don't like me that much. And the reason being, it's because I can see, like, I have like a bird's eye view after working with them for a while of what their habits are, how they sabotage themselves, what their thought patterns are, what things they're doing in their business that are just keeping them busy and not helping them get results, right? So I can see that. And my job, it's to help them navigate through that so that they can get to where they want to go, right? A lot of times, how do I say this? When you are in a coaching relationship, a lot of times it's about allowing your clients to make mistakes. It's about allowing your clients to find your own path. It's about allowing your clients to grow, right? And really understanding what their pace is. But also, a lot of times, it's having someone who will actually help you get out of your own way. And the only way to do that is to have someone by your side that can see that and also navigate it with you in a very tactful way. Okay, so let's see what we got. Hello, Erica. Hello, Stormy. Talina. Okay, exactly. All right, so let me know if you guys are understanding this so far. So I wrote something down that I wanted to share with you. So the reason why this is going to happen, the reason why you're going to encounter phases in your one-on-one coaching journey, whether you're the client or whether you have a client, where you may have a little bit of like, like a little bit of a tough conversation, a little bit of a rough time. You may have to give a little bit of tough love. You may have to help your client see things that they don't see and that they don't like to see, right? Because you want a coach that's committed to being the coach that you need, not the coach that you think you want, right? You think you want a coach who's like never challenging you, always cheering you on. And yes, 85% of the time, that's what's going to happen. I promise you. I don't want you to think I'm a drill sergeant and we're constantly having tough conversations. Like, I would say at least 85% of the time, it's a beautiful journey, right? But there will be times where it's going to be a little bit tough, and you want a coach who has the confidence and the capacity to navigate those tough situations with you. Otherwise, why wouldn't you just call your friend to help you out or talk to your mom about it? Because it's not as helpful, right? Like, that is not coaching. Having someone who's just like, great, you're doing great, you're doing great, you're doing great. That's just like having a cheerleader by your side. And that's a big part of the process, right? That's a big part of it. Having someone by your side who's always validating that you're going on the right direction, who's always helping you like make the right turn, who's helping you get out of your own mind and strategize and figure out what are the things that are going to help you get the most results. That's most of it. But sometimes it's a little bit of tough love. Sometimes it's a little bit of, oh my God, that was such a challenging conversation. And I promise you, every single time I have one of those sessions with my clients, at first, I always feel the resistance. At first, I always feel the discomfort from their end. But I promise you, a week later, they're thanking me for being able to push them and to have those soft conversations. And a lot of coaches are not willing to do that, right? Because they're scared, like, what if my client doesn't like me? What if they don't sign up with me again? What if they like another coach? What if they leave me a bad review, right? But a really good coach knows that most of the time that's not going to happen. Most of the times they're going to appreciate the fact that you're helping them reshape who they are, that you're helping them reshape how they act, and that you're helping them reshape how fast and quickly they get results because they're not getting in their own way. And the reason why they're not getting in their own way, it's because you're willing and you're confident enough to have tough coaching sessions with them. Okay? Now, again, I'm not a drill sergeant. It's not like my clients don't like me because I'm screaming at them like, you have to do this, right? It's really more of like I helping them navigate. For example, let me give you a specific example. Does this sound like abstract to you? Like, do you want a little bit more structure as to what that looks like? Yes, clients need that push without letting them know they're being pushed. Exactly. Love this. Okay, beautiful. So let me just give you like an example. Let's say you come to me and you're like, hey, Barbs, I signed up for your discovery call because I want to work with you because I want to take advantage of the Conscious Black Friday offer where I get $3,000 off one-on-one coaching. Okay? And I want to take one of the 2 spots that you have. My problem with growing my business has been that I can't hold myself accountable. I have so many ideas and I don't really execute any of them. I start things and I never finish them. And I'm just so overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. Okay? I know what I want to do. I know what my vision is. I just don't know how to make it happen. Is this something that you can help me with? Of course I can. But let's say your journey begins, right? And we're moving towards that vision of yours. We're moving towards the coaching business of your dreams. And a few weeks in, we start realizing a pattern, which is, for example, we are strategizing. We have detailed to-dos as to what you need to be doing, how, when, right? We have detailed plans as to like what happens if you get stuck, how do you reach out, what tools do we use? And what's been happening is we say we're going to do that when we have our session. A week goes by, you start a little bit, and you backtrack. The second week that happens, we have our session, we strategize, we figure out a plan, you know exactly what to do, you push a little bit, you backtrack. Then we go into the internals, like, why is this happening? Why are we starting and not finishing? What are the blocks? What are you afraid of? What are your fears? Let's shift that together, okay? So in this example, you can see through coaching, we're doing the strategic work. of figuring out like what steps need to happen to get you the results that you want in your business. And we're simultaneously figuring out what's going on inside. What are you afraid of? Are you afraid of rejection? Are you afraid of failure? Are you afraid that your family is looking at your content? Do you not believe that it's possible for you? Okay, let's figure out what's going there and let's work through it together. So we're doing both of those pieces, right? But we're still stuck in that pattern. So if you had a coach who is only looking to work with you so that you're a happy camper and that you never had to feel discomfort, that coach would be like, great, we're doing great. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep trying. Eventually you'll figure it out, right? Because they're unwilling to have those tough conversations with you versus a coach who's confident enough to say, hey, let's talk about this for a second. Do you really want this? Like you say you want this, you say you want to get to this level, but do you really want it? Yes. Okay, so let's dive deeper into that. Like, why are we falling back into habits? What's going on there? How do you need more support, or do you need more help getting comfortable with the uncomfortable? Like, it's just a matter of like having the ability to ask tough questions, right? Like, no one likes to get asked, like, do you really want this? Right? Like, that's something that, like, if you ask me, I'm like, what do you mean? Of course I want it. Like, what, like, I just like react like not in the most positive way. Most people won't act in the most positive way. Most people will be like, of course I want it. That's why I'm working with you. Right? This is why most coaches do not like to have these tough conversations, because for a second, your client is going to react and it's going to get triggered. Okay. But every once in a while in the coaching relationship, clients need to get a little triggered. They need to see things that they cannot see on their own, right? It's so hard for me. Like, you're so stuck in patterns that it would be so hard for me to be like, do I really want this or not, right? Like, my thought pattern would just be like, why is this not working? Why is this not working? Why is this not working? And then if someone challenges me and if someone triggers me a little bit, like, I'm not going to like it at first, but it's going to make me question things that on my own, I wouldn't question myself, right? So when a coach asks me like, do you really want this? And you take the introspection to answer that question, honestly, most of the time the answer is like, yes, I really want this. You start figuring out the answers on your own, right? Like, so if I really want this, why am I not doing this? Right? If I really want this, how much discomfort am I willing to take, right? But that's what I mean. Like, it's not about like me being a drill sergeant. Like, you have to do this. Wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and we are going to grow your business. Otherwise, you're not working with me. Right? Like, it's not like that at all. It's not military academy when you work with me. It's just every once in a while when I see you falling into patterns that are not conducive to your success, we are going to have triggering conversations. I am going to ask triggering questions. And that could be as easy as one question in our session. That question will leave you thinking and will leave you changing the way that you perceive and act around the things that we're doing. That one thing. I know it sounds so basic, but these are things, these are questions, these are conversations that your mom, your dad, your friends, your Facebook accountability buddy, like whatever. Most people will not have these conversations with you. Most people will not push you to be the best version of yourself. Most people settle in their own life. So they will make you settle in your own as well, right? So like when you are talking to someone, what they believe to be possible is what they will transmit to you. Does that make sense? So you want a coach who believes in your fullest capacity at all times, right? And because she believes in your fullest capacity at all times, that coach is willing to get uncomfortable with you so that you can step into that version. I need some feedback here, guys. Is this resonating? Is this triggering? Does this make sense? Give me some feedback here. How is this feeling with you guys? I have these conversations with my one-on-one clients as they coach their clients, because that's another thing about having me as a coach. Like, yes, I help you grow your business, but also as you start getting clients, you want to be a coach who's helping your clients get results, right? So like a lot of times my clients will bring their own client conversations or client situations into the session, and I help them coach better, and I help them help their clients in a better sense, right? So I have these conversations with them, and it's definitely something I talk a lot about at home because Nick is a mental health counselor, so we kind of like exchange ideas in our work, but I never have said it to my community. So I need to know if this is resonating with you, if you like this deeper perspective of coaching. If you're like, what are you talking about? I don't like this at all. Give me some feedback. Let's see. What others? Okay, so I had something else I wanted to share with you guys. When I have a resource that I want to share with you guys as well. It's a podcast that I have been loving. So I want to read it. It's like a short poem that I have been obsessed with as long as my teacher told me to read it and do a project about it. You guys have probably heard of it. It's by Langston Hughes, and it's called A Dream Deferred, right? And it really makes you think about your dreams and your goals and your business and everything that you want to achieve in life. And what happens if you don't move towards that, right? And I promise you, I'm going to tie it into today's live stream. So it goes, what happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it sing like like rotten meat, or crust and sugar over like syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode? Right. So the reason why I want to bring this poem today is because it really aligns with what I'm trying to say. If my clients don't, my mission as a business coach is to help you create a business that helps you experience the life of your dreams, right? Like that gives you the freedom and the flexibility and the impact that you can as a human, right? And when I think about how many dreams get deferred in the coaching industry, how many women have so much talent and so many skills and so much experience and so much passion, and they just cannot get to that next level. I always think about this poem of like, what happens to all those dream deferreds, right? Like what happened to all those ideas and all the things that we want to achieve, right? And this is this is one of the reasons why I am so passionate about being a coach who's not scared to be the best coach, even if that causes discomfort, right? If I did it any other way, then that would mean just more dreams get deferred, right? Because I'm just allowing you to get stuck in your own patterns. I'm allowing you to go back into old habits. I'm allowing you to play small. I'm not even giving you perspective as to what's possible and how much you can actually change. Yeah. That's not my job, right? Like my job is not to be conducive to help you keep deferring your dreams. That's not any coach's job. And a lot of you in here are different kinds of coaches: relationship coaches, financial coaches, career coaches. I mean, I work with all kinds of coaches. It's not just in a business setting. I'm saying business because that's what I do, right? But it's in any setting, right? Like if you're someone who helps women get healthier, like you want to have tough, loving conversations with them. You want to rewire patterns, right? Like you want to see things from a perspective that they will not see. And yes, it's hard, right? Like I literally have to do so much internal work on my own every single day to be able to show up confidently as a coach for my clients to help them see results. But that is our job. Like I said, nobody wants to hire their best friend. I have one of my best friends actually is hiring me to do a 3-hour intensive. So I used to do them a lot. I don't do them that much because I'm so busy with one-on-one, and that's like what I'm passionate about, like long-term things. But she just started a blog, and we're strategizing around like how we're going to monetize it and things like that. And she's like, before, when I first started coaching, I used to coach for free, which was great. It gave me so much experience. But what I learned is that if my friends didn't pay me, they would not value the work that we did, right? Like they would just take it as my friend is giving me advice. And I would also not show up to my fullest capacity as a coach, right? Like I wouldn't be as challenging. I wouldn't dive deeper into things that I should have dived deeper with, So point is, I'm coaching one of my friends. I'm making her pay me because I don't want people to feel like I'm their best friends. I want us to have a great relationship. Ask any of my clients. I don't really think any of them don't like me. I think a lot of them really love the work that we do. A lot of them work with me for a really long time. Even if they decide that they don't sign up, a lot of them come back. Like I have like 2 former clients signing up with me again just now. So it's like, it's not that it's not a fun, joyful experience to grow your business together. It's just that I have a responsibility as your coach to help you reach levels that you haven't before. And in order for me to do that, and in order for us to do that together, I need to be comfortable with points in our sessions, you being like, she just triggered me and I'm kind of upset at her for a little bit. But you process it and then you realize how much it helps you grow. Honestly, most of the time when this happens, my clients come back and thank me. They're like, thank you so much for opening that up. Thank you so much for asking that question. Thank you so much for diving into that thing, right? And it's not to toot my own horn or anything, but I'm really good at it, right? Like I said, you have to be tactful about it. You can't just shove things into people's face. Like you have to really know your clients. You need to know their thresholds and their boundaries, and how much you can push and how you should push and how you should push and how you should approach certain conversations and how you do this through coaching, right? Like you're not just like, hey, you're doing this wrong. Why are you doing this again? You've been doing it for 20 weeks, right? Like that's not coaching. You have to do it in a very eloquent way. What else do we have here? Okay, my last little note. It's like my job and your job as a coach is to help you become the best version of yourself. So never forget that. Never forget why you're doing what you're doing. I think when we link coaching to money, it gets a little tricky, right? Because you're trying to build a business, you're trying to make money. So there's a lot of fear and uncertainty where it's like, oh my God, what if they don't like me? What if they don't sign up again? What if I don't do the right thing? What if I don't say the right thing? What if I trigger them and they don't want to work with me again, or they want to cancel their contract, right? So like when money is involved in coaching, it gets a little tricky there because there's more fear. But just always remember this. You are here to coach people into the best version of themselves, right? Whether they sign up again or whether they don't, it doesn't matter. It's going to happen anyway, right? And I would even argue that you will have more clients signing up with you repetitively if you show up as the best coach that you can. Doesn't mean that you're perfect, right? I am extremely imperfect. Like, you have no idea how imperfect I am. One day I'm going to bring on Nick so he can tell you about all my imperfections. He's so sweet, though. He will be like, no, she's perfect. But I'm really not. It's not about being perfect. It's about always going the extra mile, always pushing yourself as a coach as well. Just as much as you want to push your clients to step out of that comfort zone, you need to push yourself just as much, right? You need to be willing to do that for yourself, and you need to be willing to have uncomfortable conversations. One second, I think they're going to leave. Can you guys hear me? Let me read some comments right now, since we have the whole team over here. So we have to have uncomfortable conversations to get our clients to get out of their comfort zones. That makes sense. Love this. Most people don't want to say something that will trigger someone, even if it might help them. Yeah. So I don't think that's everything in coaching. I don't think it's all about having uncomfortable conversations, right? It's also about validation. It's also about brainstorming. It's also about strategizing. It's also about having someone believing in you in a way that no one else does, right? Like, so many of my clients are like, my husband, he like just doesn't understand. My partner doesn't understand what I'm doing. He doesn't understand my business. He just doesn't get it. And as much as he wants to like be on board with it, he just can't, right? So like when we're starting a business, it's really hard to have someone who 100% believes and understands the process that you're going through, right? So it's definitely not all about having uncomfortable conversations. There's so many other layers to it, but it's a layer that not a lot of people talk about or want to do, right? That's just the truth. Not a lot of coaches are like talking about the unsexy part of coaching. Like, I had an uncomfortable conversation with a client, and it took her like 5 days to realize that it was the best conversation she's ever had. For those 5 days, I'm uncomfortable. She's uncomfortable, right? But there was a purpose to it. And there was a purpose to it. There was a reason why we were going there. It's not just like me throwing spaghetti at the wall and constantly making you feel uncomfortable. It's just like when it's needed, we go there. Any other time, there's 100 other layers that we're working through. I promise you, it's not all discomfort. This is such a bad live stream to be having while I'm in the middle of booking 2 one-on-one spots. You guys, like, this is such a bad live stream, right? But this is just how I am. Like, most people will just tell you, like, it's perfect, it's great, it's all rainbows and butterflies. And you don't want it to be all rainbows and butterflies. You want there to be flow. You want there to be consistency in achievement, right? Like, you want to see constant growth. And there is a lot of beauty and rainbows and butterflies through that, right? But there's also a layer of like, are you ready to do the work? And that doesn't just mean like writing a post, going on live stream. That means like doing the work to change who you are and how you show up in this world. Yeah. All right, let's see. What happens to Dream Deferred? Well, great question. Yeah, I was obsessed. I did a whole project on that, and it's really funny how much it relates to the work that we do as coaches, right? No matter what type of coach you do, whether you're a finance coach, whether you're a relationship coach, whether you're a career coach, whether you're a health coach, whether you're a weight loss coach, whether you are a happiness coach, like literally there's so many type of coaches out there. Ideally, you're helping clients not defer their dreams. You're helping clients not completely let go of their dreams. So I loved how that poem impacted me so much back then, and how it's so related to the work that I do and that we all do in the coaching industry. Okay, so I think that's it for today. I really wanted to share this because, number one, it's going to give you a little bit of insight as to why I'm different than a lot of coaches. It's also going to give you a little bit of insight as to like, it's okay if you had an uncomfortable conversation in your session. It's okay. It's going to like help you create a little bit of ease around the fact that coaching is not perfect, right? It's not a perfect journey. Most of the time, it's the most amazing thing. But sometimes there may be a couple downs. There may be a few stumbling blocks, and there may be some hard conversations. I have a lot of my clients hop on these lives and watch the replay. And oftentimes they talk about what working with me is like. And I can never say it because of client confidentiality. But I think if you ever talk to one of my clients, like for example, if you want to sign up with me for 6 months through my Conscious Black Friday offer, and you ever want to talk to a former client, you just need to let me know and I will connect you with so many of them. And they will tell you what working with me is like. And they will tell you that that's 100% something that I incorporate, right? Lots of fun, lots of strategizing, lots of internal work, lots of support, lots of validation, lots of believing in you more than anyone has ever believed in you, lots of holding you accountable, lots of reviewing your work and literally being your business partner, right? But also lots of willingness of me going where we need to go in order for you to get where you want to get faster, quicker, and more effective. So hope that gives you insight as to what working with me is like. Hope that gives you insight as to what coaching is actually like. A lot of you have never worked with a one-on-one coach, so you're probably like, why would anyone invest in this? Reason being, because it helps you get results faster and more effectively. So if you are ready to do that, it's one of the best things you can invest for in your business. But also, you're a coach yourself, right? So I think this conversation has 2 lenses, right? Like the lens that I just told you, and also the lens of like, give yourself permission to be the best coach that you can be, right? Push yourself out of your comfort zone. Again, guys, we need to do this eloquently as coaches. You can't just scream at people when they don't do what they're supposed to do, get really nasty with them. Like, that's not the point of this. The point of this is not to be like a drill sergeant. Most people do not respond well to that. Most people will not respond well to that, I promise you. There may be a few weird individuals who do respond well to drill sergeant style coaching. Honestly, I haven't seen many. Most people respond well to tactful, eloquent, professional coaching. Okay. A lot of this comes with experience. I've been doing this for a really, really long time. And a lot of them comes from your willingness to get uncomfortable. All right. That's it. Any questions? I'm gonna stay here for a minute or so and see if there are some questions. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. Oh, another reminder. If your clients, like if you have one of those tough sessions and you do end up having a client who's triggered for a little bit, like the title of this live stream is like, why my clients don't like me sometimes. In the grand scheme of things, my clients like me. In the grand scheme of things, your clients will like you. They may not like you for a little bit, right? And if you're working with great clients the way that I do, literally, I love every single one of my clients, they will know that it's okay to not like you for a little, and that as soon as whatever is there is processed, will go away, right? And especially when they work with you for a long time, they really get used to that process, like a lot. Like I have clients who I've been working with for years, and I literally say, like, you're not gonna like this. This is gonna be one of those sessions or one of those conversations. I hope you're ready for it. And they're like, oh God, here we go again. But yes, I'm ready for it. The other thing that I want to say here is always check in with your clients. Like, check in with them and see how they're feeling. Because you know how I keep saying over and over again, like, you need to know how much you can push and you need to know your clients really well. Like, all of my clients are very different. I know if I push client A the same way that I push client B, it's not going to be a good story. It's going to be like baking muffins without baking soda or baking powder. It's just not going to work, right? So a really good thing to keep in mind here is the way to do this, one of the ways to do this tactfully and eloquently and in a way that feels really good for both coach and coachee is to always check in with them, right? One of my favorite questions is, how does this feel? How are you feeling about this? What are your thoughts on this? I even do this through live streams, right? Like, I'm just so used to asking the questions, because if they're like completely hesitant to that, we may need to take a pause and we may need to come back, or I may need to reframe it or rework it. And I even tell my clients, like, if this doesn't feel good, just let me know. If this doesn't feel like your truth, let me know. Like, client communication and rapport is one of the most important things that you can do to be the best coach that you can be. Okay. Not being afraid to ask your clients, how are you feeling, right? How can we make this better? How can we process this differently? Is this okay? Do you want to keep pushing? Do you want to keep diving into it? Do you want to hold it off for the next session? Does this feel true to you? Like, these are questions that you always want to be asking, especially when you're about to step into the version of a coach who's willing to push their clients as far as they can possibly go. Yeah. Let's see. I worked with Barbara many years ago, and my life has never been the same. I'm so grateful for her. I can't wait to work with her again. Bree, I adore you. I love, like, I'm so thankful that you share that. I really am. It's just, it humbles me that I can do the work that I do, and it humbles me that so many of you trust me to be your co-pilot on so many things. Like, it's a vulnerable thing to hire a coach. It's a vulnerable thing to dive deep into your life and business and everything in between. And, you know, it's scary and it's uncomfortable. It makes you step out of your comfort zone. And I just love that I have the capacity to do this every single day. And I love to be able to work with clients like you and any other clients that I have ever had the opportunity to work with. I don't know. It's just sometimes I can't believe that I get to work with such incredible women. Thank you for sharing that. You're amazing. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up now. If you guys want to talk about what working together would be like for 6 months, definitely book a discovery call. Zero pressure. We're just going to discuss your business, see where you're at, see where you want to go. We're going to talk about any blocks that you may have, any needs that you may need, and all of that good stuff. If I feel like we're a good fit, we can talk about what it would be like to work at a highly discounted rate. Conscious Black Friday is $3,000 off one-on-one coaching, cheapest, least expensive that I have offered in a long time. Reason why I'm doing this, guys, is because honestly, I think one-on-one coaching is the thing that's going to help you generate the most success in your business, and it's the thing that's really going to solidify your client acquisition process and your income and all that good stuff. And I think Black Friday, if you know me, I don't run a lot of Black Friday sales. I think it's a lot of FOMO, and I hate that. I really like selling things that I know are going to help you get results. And if you just buy something because I tell you, hey, it's Black Friday, I have this discounted, buy it, then you're going to buy it and never do it, or never see the course, or never do anything because you just bought out of Black Friday, brain activation. I need to buy it before it's gone. So I've decided this year I'm going to give you guys 3 weeks to decide if you want to make an investment for yourself that's going to change your life and business forever. So now I'm hopping off. Nick always says that I stay way too long. I say I'm going to wrap up for way longer than what I should, so I'm going to hop off before he tells me the same thing again. If you're watching the replay, drop me a comment, drop me any questions. Let me know if you need additional support. I always come back to the comments. And as always, I will see you all next Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern for another episode of the Business Breakthrough with Barbara Show. Bye, everyone. Thank you for being here.